welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bongiwe CBC and I am Zulu language. English is not my first language, but Zulu is. And um, please don't forget to subscribe and like my page. And guys, please know that these are like my first videos, so I'm not gonna be that good, but content I do have. So you know how I usually give you guys my story times? Yeah, today I'm gonna be doing something a little different, and we're gonna be doing this from time to time, and you guys can tell me if you like them and which ones would you like me to hear, like which ones would you guys like to hear from me. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like the page, and also comment down below. It's really helpful for my channel to grow. Ne? Now, the story that I'm going to be telling you guys today is the story of how David from the Bible killed one of his sons. Ne? Okay. So, before I forget, my glasses are reflecting, guys, so forgive me if they are annoying. Okay, forgive me if they are annoying, but if I take them off I won't be able to see the camera. Now I'm going to be doing these story times, these Bible story times from time to time. Ne? So let's start from who is David. David is the king of Israel from the Bible. He is the son of Jesse, and Jesse had seven sons, or the Bible names seven of them, if somebody else has historical documents out there. Ne? The Bible names seven of Jesse's sons, and David was, the last born, and back in the day, unlike today, if you are the last born, you are gonna go like to the mountains, uzohamba uyolusa laphaya entabeni, while some of us thina sisayofuna imisebenzi, abanye basayothola like omakoti abazoshada nabo and stuff like that. But back in the biblical days, like if you were from Israel and you are a healthy, you're a healthy young man, you are gonna go fight for us. You're going to fight for us against the Philistines and other people, who come against the nation of Israel. Okay? Now, remember guys, if I don't pronounce the names right, forgive me. Hey? So, David, as we said, he is the king of Israel. Now, remember back in the days, kings from that side, or Europe, don't. Back in the biblical days, if you were a king, you had wives. And I think some people still do it till today. Yeah, in South Africa, I know they still do that. If you're a king, you're allowed to have, like, I don't know how many wives. Even if you're not a king, but if you are into that polygamy stuff, yeah. So, David had sons and daughters. Now remember, I am telling you the story of how David killed one of his sons. So let's start with the fact that, okay, David has more than one wife, and one of them was Bathsheba, if I'm pronouncing it right, Bathsheba, who gave birth to Solomon. Please guys, help me out with the facts for those who are more detailed in these things. But yes, Bathsheba, who gave birth to Solomon, King Solomon, as we all know, King Solomon. So now let's start with what happened. David, even though he had wives, he had wives in the house, and everybody was happy, and he was happy. One night, David decides to wander in his mighty palace. So as he's wandering in his mighty palace, looks like the house back in the days, in the biblical days, man, Tina, now I think we have downgraded when it comes to building, hey? Because back in the days, Bona, they were building double stories, eh? Double stories. And when I'm talking about double stories, I'm talking about those rich, you know, stones that you could just build a nice double story. So in his double story with David, he was able to walk on the roof, ne? Because it wasn't like a roof, it's a little skewed and stuff like that. It wasn't those types of roof back in the days. It was a nice flat roof where you can walk, on the rooftop, njengamaflat anamhlanje, ne? So David decides to walk around there, ne? Wandering around, he is at peace. He's in the zone, ne? I mean, he has his wives, his kingdom is at peace, and he has his soldiers defending the honor of his people. And God is just blessing him. When like indebe yakho iyachichima, your cup is overflowing at that time. Ne, hi. He's in his zone ne. Uyahamba lapha phezulu, he's walking around, Hi, King David. Ah, Davide. Davide, esahamba lapha phezulu ke guys. As he's walking on top there, parading himself to the air, like just getting some fresh air, enjoying the good life, hey? He's been winning wars for God. Come on, guys, he deserves this. Sharp. So, as he's like walking around there in his palace up in the rooftop, he notices a woman. Gaga. Hey, boy. Mind you, he's not noticing this woman from maybe like endlini yakhe, like in his rooftop. No, he's noticing a woman in an upper room in her own house with her own maids. Ne? Okay, could afford. I mean, come on. She had a husband apparently who was in the army. I don't know, is it Uri or Uri, the name of the guy who owned that household that David was gazing across. As he's gazing across this house, ubona lo mama wabantu. Umama wabantu lo ambonayo. Hayi. Bakhona abantu la ngaphandle niyezwa. Umama wabantu lo ambonayo lapha ngaphandle abhizi elokhu gobotela ngamehlo akhe nje uyambuka lapha phandle uBathsheba. And Bathsheba was the wife of Uriah. I don't know if it's Uriah or Uriah, guys, across the other household ne laphaya kude. Kodwa manje njengoba embuka, guys, kunenkinga la. Yes. Ubuka lo nkosikazi wabantu ongagqokile ogezayo laphaya endlini yakhe. Come to think of it today, people would call him a stalker and just a little creepy. You looking at a someone else's wife next door who's bathing. It's a little creepy. But he's busy gazing across there and he's looking at this woman bathing there. Ow! Ababa. Thathe uDavid. Athathe uDavid ngale ndlela yokuthi guys, I'm understanding mina ukuthi kahle kahle we even have the guts to do this well, like as human beings, because namhlanje ayenziwa nje qha amadoda, yenziwa nayithi abantu besifazane lento. So uDavid decides, hey, ngimbonile lo mfazi, hey, ngimbonile lo mama pha. Yes. Yazi ngimbonile lo sisi, yeva. Hayi. Ngamfuna mina. Decides right there and then uthi yena uyamfuna lo muntu. Decides, okay, goes back to his house, asks some of his soldiers, who's that? Indlu kabani le? Aqala kuza ukuthi indlu kabani le ya? Whose house is that? Across the road. I mean, like across my building. And they're like, oh, that is one of your deputies' houses. I don't know if he was a deputy, but he's one of the soldiers. And they tell him that he's one of your soldiers. It's one of your soldiers' house. And the person who is now residing there, since he's not in the house, is his wife. Bathsheba. Okay, guy, uyezwa kuthiwa wife. He can hear it, guys, that they are telling him, no, that is the house of one of your soldiers, and the person who's residing there right now is the wife. The wife of who? Uriah. Uriah who? One of your soldiers. It's the wife. Not girlfriend, not concubine, wife. uDavide asuke-ke umntakababa athi hey ake ningibizeleni yena. Hawu baba, ufuna ukubona unkosikazi kaUriah? Ake ningibizeleni yena, ngifuna ukumazi nje yabona, ngoba phela umnyeni wakhe kahle kahle usenzele into eningi. Like, and now you are like, my king wants to see a married woman, and he's saying that okay, he just wants to see her because, just to honor her presence, since the husband is, across the borders, far, far away from us, fighting for us and our country, So you must honor such people, So they call Bathsheba. They call Bathsheba, and that's how they start, their affair. Because even though David has multiple wives, it is still cheating. It is still cheating. Because you do not tell your wives. Your wives do not know this person. They never chose her. You never even had an agreement. But when you might bring Bathsheba. And Bathsheba is married. So, as they meet, they start having this affair. Yeah? When they have this affair, a baby comes into place. She's pregnant. As she is pregnant, David panics and decides, you know what? This is my child, mntanami lo, and lo mama lo ngiyamthanda mina, ngiyamfuna. Kahle kahle nje kuba kuya ngami vele, ngabe I would be ordering that soldier ukuthi like ngifuna umfazi wakho, give me your wife. But then now, because he was an honorable man, he had character and he did not want that to be blemished, he decides, you know what people don't know won't kill them. He goes ahead and he kills Uriah. You know how people in jail, how like other people from outside who fear people in jail say, Mina, I don't mess with that person's family. Because even though they are in jail, they can literally reach out and drop you dead while they are still in jail. Ever. So David pulls that sort of a gangster thing. Ne? He sends in a soldier with a letter telling one of the deputies, lalela, ngicela uhambise uUriah lapho khona impi ishisa. Just send him whereby you just know that he's gonna get killed. Ne? He's gonna get killed, and there will be no mistake of it. Guys, the worst part, the person that they sent the letter with to go give the deputy is Uriah. He does not know Utiana as he's sending the letter to one of the deputies in the army. He's sending an ordered hit of his own head. Now, that's how they place it in the movies. How. So that you don't suspect it, and like you wonder now, like how. So the deputy reads the letter and now you can't tell this person that this letter concerns you, my friend, and it says I must kill you. Like, how does that happen? So fine. Hi, the deputy carries out the order as he was told. He sends Uriah to the midst of the war, and Uriah gets killed. Okay, guys, Uriah gets killed. It's sad. Bathsheba at home grieves her husband and comes back to say, like, they call her by the palace and they tell her, your husband, you know, the brave man, da 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 da, has died, we honor him and all those stuff. Like, okay, so she takes the sword, you know. Back in the day, it wasn't like you have a flag, but yeah, in the place of the flag, they gave you the sword. So she takes the sword. Excuse me, ahambe ekhaya. Davide does not waste time. Calls her and says, you know what, siyashada tina. Like, I cannot wait any longer. Besides, vele umit and njengoba nje while you are pregnant. People are gonna know that you are pregnant. Who got you pregnant? Your husband is dead. So, excuse me, they get married, okay? The other wives have to just, hey, ufikile, sokwenzani? Okay, they accept her into the palace, and then David, remember, like every king has a right man. David has a right man, and his right man is a prophet. He's a prophet because David serves God. When David serves God, you know, God does not get along with things. He does not get along with dirty things. You know, he has order in his house. So they've gotten married. I think they were planning to get married. They've gotten married. So the prophet comes, because what is done in the dark shall come to light. Prophet afike athi Davide, wenzeni? Hawu David, hawu ngenzeni? Athi hayi, ake sime futhi, ngine-story ngizokuxoxela sona njengamanje. Ngifuna ungitshela ukuthi wena ungayixazulula kanjani le ndaba. Yangizwa? Athi David, okay. So, as he is told that there is this story that I'm about to tell you, and I need you to explain to me, how can you solve this problem? He's like, fine, sure, I'm all ears. Tell me, what's happening? So, the prophet explains that there was this man who was very rich, and there was a man who was not that rich. And he only had one sheep, like one sheep in his, in his household. He had one sheep. And the rich man, who had all things in the world, he had all the sheep he wanted in the world, decides to take that one sheep of that other man who has nothing and kills it for himself. And then after that, the prophet says, so, how would you solve such a problem? I mean, this rich guy did take the last and only sheep of the poor guy. What would you do? Zwan, hey, ngoba thina bantu, thina. And God pleases, he pleads us. He pleads with us to have mercy. But again, as mameli, ngilanga ngiyoba nguwe. So, as they saying, as they have told him the story, he says, no ways, that rich man should die. Ever. That rich man should die. He should die because he took the one sheep of this person who had nothing. He should die. Ne? He should die. Okay? Athi awu, ngempela. Athi umprofethi, indaba ezibuhlungu ke lezo. Yazi ngobani? Athi ngobani? Athi, and then usayabuza manje ukuthi ngobani? No, they're like, because that rich man who took the one sheep of that poor man, it's you. Nguwe, it's you. And then, hey, shiselwa. Shiselwa. Yes. Shiselwa uDavide. Athi hawe ma, ngenzeni? What have I done? Please explain to me so that I can just try to fix it right now. I need to know what have I done so that I can fix it. So, manje, it's not a pleasant situation to be the one in the wrong and you are the king or you are the one leading, like it's an awkward position. But luckily, guys, because he was a man of character, he says, how can I fix this? Hey? And then, like, the prophet starts talking what God is saying. Ati, you could have asked for anything. You could have asked for more. Back to ubufuna okunye. Bengunika. I was going to give it to you, son. It's you that we're talking about. I could have given it to you. If you wanted another one, I could have given it to you. We would have found a solution to such a problem. But you decided to go and do what? To kill the husband and steal his wife. So God was upset. And God punishes his children because he loves them. Like he punishes you and then you pass over. And it's fine. It is in the past. You have learned your lesson. Good luck if you don't learn your lesson, because you should learn your lesson. Ne? So this is what they tell David. They say, well, since you use a sword to get what you thought should be rightfully yours, the sword shall never leave your household. Meaning, kahle kahle kusho ukuthi la endlini uzophila ngenkemba. Ngoba wena wenzeni? Uzana ukuyojaha umuntu. Umbulali. Uthathe into zakhe. Hey guys. Okay. Bese bamtshela bathi singaze sikhohle futhi. Kusho umprofeti athi ngingaze ngikhohle futhi. Wena lengane le I meet uBathsheba. This child, I know that it's not Uriah's child. It is your child. And therefore God says this child will not survive. Guys. Mtana Ashon. Now guys, keep it in mind that this is not the child that David kills. This is not his son that he kills here. God decided to take that child as a form of punishment from him. Okay? So David fasts. He bows down, he prays to God, he pleads with God, and God is like, if I remove this punishment, you won't learn, son. So I gotta do something. You are my child and I need to build your character. So at the end of his fast, the child still dies, on birth. Yeah, while they're giving birth. So Ntana uyazala uzala ushonile. Okay, fine. Amukelo David. Life goes on. As life goes on, David now, remember, they're living in a palace. He's got sons and daughters, and they're from different mothers. So as now, Kuzalu Solomon, after God has punished Bathsheba and David, God still decides to give them and heal their wound with a baby boy, who's Solomon. Solomon was still young, tiny baby back then. So as Solomon is still very tiny back then, he's still a baby, maybe 1 year old. He's still young then. His other brothers and sisters are very old, Bakulile, it's teenagers, So one of David's sons decides, mina ngikhalela usisi wami. Utshela umngani wakhe athi mina ngikhalela usisi wami, athi umngani hayibo mngani kahle, hayibo mngani wena ubungakhona, could you not just even choose someone else out there? Athi there are other girls lapha ngaphandle abahle futhi, and I can just hook you up. You are the king's son. I can just hook you up and you have a girl, any girl that you want. Your sister, usisi wakho. Athi no hayi wena ngathi awuyiqondi lento, phela thina sizalani. Ubaba nje kuphela uhlanganisa, kodwa nje azizalani, sizalwa umama abahlukene. So mina ngiyamthanda futhi ngiyamfuna. I manipulate intombazane. Okay. Manipulate her, or I don't know if they agreed, but it eventually turns into a rape case. that when you slept with my sister and you manipulated her into doing it. So, like David, from the same mother of these two kids, he has a girl and a boy from one mother. The one who is lusting for his sister is from another mother. So the brother of this girl who is in question now of the rape, or your own brother raped you, decides, you know what, I feel like you should have gotten a harsher punishment. Because David decides to say, okay, fine, he will never eat this son who lusted after my daughter is never gonna eat with us in the quarters, make sure that he goes and herds cows out there. Gives her the dark boy job, like when Anje, like you are the black sheep. You are literally the black sheep. So lona ke athi cha mina nje unangi baba uzongixolela yabona utshela ubhuti wale ntombazane ayirapile. He's telling the same brother, imagine the brother of the girl he raped, that don't worry, my dad will forgive me, so I'll just go back to the quarters and stuff like that. So they're like, okay, akwate lo bhuti wale ntombazane. He's like really beloved, like he's angry, like this guy speaks with disrespect. He has no, like, akana sorry enhlizweni yakhe ukuthi urepusiswa wami. So after he does that, abona ukuthi okay fine, mina you rape my sister, fine, wena ngizokubulala. So at night angazi noma bekuyomjolweni noma bekuwamaklabha ngaleso sikhathi. I think it was just a chilling session at the beach and people are having a fire session there. Athi lo ngicela nimbulale namhlanje ebusuku mayisedakiwe nje. Hawu nangempela kube njalo. They kill the guy. So as they kill the guy, and now it's like, oh, okay, this one killed his own brother, and I still have to forgive him. He's my son. So Bathsheba comes and asks him, whoa. When you forgave the person who raped your other daughter, and he was your son, and now this one, your other son, killed the one who raped your daughter. So when you are still forgiving, these kids should be punished. David Ataibo. What's to boast and manje sisi? Yini? Are you planning a succession or what? Athi Bathsheba ngiyaxolisa. Bengisho nje ukuthi lezi ngane they need to get discipline. Wena unenhliziyo enhle kakhulu. Athi okay, fine. Athi kodwa kusala ngiyamxolela umntanami. He's my son, he deserves my forgiveness. Just as Nami, I am God's son and I deserve forgiveness. Okay, fine. They move past that. So, lo mntana lo amxolelayo decides to be now a rebellion, like against his father. And people, they start gossiping to him, to his ears, like, your father is no longer a good king, your father is like this, you can't dethrone him, you are his blood, you deserve to be on the throne, you're old enough, like, until he goes like, okay fine, I'll do it, ngizoyenza lento. And then after that, he tries to overthrow his father. Now remember, his father is forgiving. David is very forgiving. Abalek, imagine running away from your own son. David runs for his life, and he's running for his life because most of the troops are over to his son now, and this like the people who are surrounding him now are those, those loyal governors, those loyal soldiers that he started with back in the days while Solomon was still hunting for him. Abaleke, abaleke ubhuti athathe ingane yakhe, athathe onkosikazi bakhe, adle phansi bonke. Abaleke. So mabebaleka, they go back to the desert. I don't know if it's a saying or it's only in the Bible, whereby they go like the lamb becomes the lion. Remember, I think people just forgot that before he was a king, that before he sat on that throne, that before he was this spoiled boy, he was a warrior. He was a warrior. And a warrior who had God on his side. So he knew how to communicate with God. So he goes to his prophet and says, should I, like, what should I do now? And then after that, he asks, he doesn't ask his prophet. He asked the people in the army, his captains in the army, like, what should I do? Should I attack? What should I do? So they build a strategy. And then the strategy is like, yeah, perfect, correct. Nah, this is a good strategy, so let's go attack. Let's go find this boy and teach him a lesson of his life. And the father is like, well, guys, please don't kill my son. Nay, just bring him back. I will put him in a prison. Oh, the name of the son is Absalom. Yes, the name of the son who killed his brother, who raped her sister, is Absalom. Yes. So as that happens, they go to the war. They go and attack. Imagine attacking your own city. But now they are fighting from the outside. The reason why David ran away from the city is so that he does not destroy his own city. So they are fighting outside, out there in the woods. They attack. Guys. Hey, remember, this was a warrior. David was a warrior. So now he does not go to war. He plans the war. An airtight one, ever, goes after his own son with everything, ever. And they pursue the boy until he surrenders, like he knows what's in. Yeah, oh Lisa, I have learned my lesson. Dad is the guy. He's still the dude, okay? He's still like the OG, okay? And when they find him, the soldiers kill him. Like, you have to die. We don't stand for this. In fact, your father has been merciful with all of you kids. You must be an example. Ambulad. Just like that, guys. So, let's not forget to respect the people who bring us to the world. The people who have given us the mercies. In any place. In a workplace. At home. Let's not forget to honor God most of all. Because he gives us this life, he gives us these things. And then after that, we decide to know we are better than God. We are better than our parents, I know sometimes they may do horrific things to others of us, but at least honor that it's still a parent. It's still a mother. It's still a father. Respect them. That is the moral of this story, how David killed his own son. So, guys, please respect your parents. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and also comment down below. Let me know if you want to hear more of these Bible story times, guys. Yeah. Peace.